So I want to talk about the solar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. We're talking about the sidereal zodiac, which would mean that we have the south node in the sign of Virgo. We have the north node in the sign of Pisces. Now the solar eclipse itself is happening this October too, so like today, tomorrow, whenever I post this, again in the sign of Virgo. South node is all about letting go. It's all about releasing things, and Virgo is all about earthly attachments. Now until next year, so starting, it's already started, but until the month of May next year, there's this collective releasing of earthly attachments. One of the great examples I could think of was I went on TikTok and this lady was talking about like kind of a satirical TikTok about overconsumption core and whatever. So that's one of the examples here. There's this feeling of collectively wanting to let go of these material attachments and wanting to lean more into spiritual pursuits once more. In this regard, I've already mentioned this before, over the next few years, we've got to be careful with how we deal with this. Balance is always key because, yes, we're releasing these earthly attachments, but are the people we are listening to, spiritually speaking, including myself, people that are good for us? There are sometimes it's not a matter of good versus bad spiritual mentor, but like, is this person who you need at this time? Is it a therapist you need at this time? Because as a collective, people are kind of clinging onto deeper meaning. And so you may have noticed, especially the past few days, this sense of collective detachment. And I know this for sure because I've had more than a few clients come to me asking for readings, saying they've been feeling super detached. They've been working on their goals and they've been actually achieving those goals, but they've just been feeling like, now I feel like I have detached from the people around me. Now I feel like I have detached from maybe my friends, right? Or from the groups of people that I really kind of need. So there's a collective feeling of detachment from what's truly important. So next year, or from now until next year, it's a good thing to remember to reconnect with your spirituality in some type of way, and especially in a way that is grounded and that works best for you. Some people are spiritual and it's like a whole routine. They go to church, they do their prayers every day. That's perfectly fine. And some people, their spirituality just looks a little bit different. It could mean connecting with loved ones that they have lost. It could also mean literally just finding new belief systems. It doesn't have to stay the same all the time. There also may be this feeling of, I don't just want to believe in someone, I want to try things out for myself. So the thing I'm getting an image of right now is I wouldn't be surprised if you get a lot of newbies in different faiths or spiritualities trying out new things. I keep thinking of like TikTok and a few years ago when witch talk was like a thing, or maybe it still is, I don't know. And it's like the whole thing about baby witches. So that's what I'm thinking of right now, is there could be something about newbies in certain spiritual spaces who are trying things out for themselves, and there may be some like whatever discourse surrounding that, because I think that people are just finding something new or trying to find something new to cling on to. But we have to remember not to lose ourselves in both ways, right? Virgo is all about like material stuff, yes, your job as well, your health. Oh my gosh, like, I as someone who needs to work on their health, I know we should work on their health, but I also see people kind of fantasizing about like how certain, let's say, models, kind of drink like 30 types of vitamins per day or whatever. And like, there's also overkill when it comes to that in both aspects, right? So there's a focus on health, physical health, which is good. There's a focus on like job as well. But there's also this focus on spirituality. And sometimes if it's just inappropriately timed, especially with the way the world is going right now, it could send people into a frenzy if we are doing things in excess. So it's just a message of maintaining balance. Where the South Node is in Virgo is also about honing your crafts. So learning new skills is going to be a great, great, great thing to do over the next few months. Personally, I've like started working on my nails. Like I don't care if you don't think they look good. This is the best they've ever looked that I've done myself, for example. It's something like it's anything like that, especially things that you can do with your hands would be a great thing to do at this time. People could be getting into palmistry or massage or things to do with, again, holistic healing, healing in general, medical stuff in general, but also something to do with like your hands and how that can heal the body. Crafts with your hands, so including things like knitting, drawing, etc. These could be skills that people are learning. Something that's coming to mind, and I don't, okay, this is just a theory I have. K2 is about, or South Node is about letting go of the old, right? And in Virgo, in specifically this portion of Virgo, this is talking about letting go, but it's like skills. So I don't know, for some reason, it just makes me think that perhaps on a collective level, certain companies are like, we're no longer going to do this system of doing things. So that's why I was thinking with the US elections, it could be that there's something coming up with like a different way of voting. That's one example. But like in terms of companies, maybe some people are leaning more to, like, I know that like going paperless has been a thing for forever, but it's like, are we finally getting rid of certain things like that for good? Like, it just makes me think, okay, this is just a theory I have. I feel like an old person because I feel like I want to say we got to adapt with the way things are going because it's not going away. So this makes me think of AI, and it's like in a lot of companies we may be implementing AI as like a standard thing that people use now, and it's not just like, oh, like it's something we're thinking of. It's like, no, we're getting rid of this old system of doing things and we're implementing this new one. And it may specifically have to do with AI. It could be other systems also. But I just think there's something about new systems and old systems and companies. So you may be seeing a lot of that over the next few months. Maybe you're already doing this with your company and there's already some form of like transition period with what they're using, where we're discarding old like softwares, etc. As for how this affects you and your specific zodiac sign, we're going to start with Virgo ascendant. So remember, this is for sidereal zodiac. Go to the link in my description box to check out whatever yours is. So for Virgo sun, moon, rising, this is going to be hitting your first and your seventh house. So this could be in terms of relationships, wanting to meet someone new. You could be making new connections at work, or in terms like in connection to your work, in connection to health or medical situations. So explain that. That could be like you're meeting someone new, a potential love interest, but it's like you meet them at the gym or you meet them at your workplace or you have a work crush, you know, that could be the case there. Now, it could also just be, if it's not like a romantic connection, it could be a partner. Okay, so when we say partner, we mean like work wife, we mean like someone that we're just like your partner in crime at work. That could be something as well, right? But it's something to do with your workplace or a place that relates to health and well-being. But you're not gonna like this. The lesson there is, are they someone you really like, or are they just hot? And like, is it worth sacrificing whatever peace you may have at work because they're hot? So this is also like, just in general, if you're not necessarily meeting someone at work, if you do have a romantic interest or if you do meet that person, how is this going to affect your work life or your health life? Can you find the balance, right? And then the same thing, is it like, is this person really what you want, what your soul desires? Or is it that, you know, they kind of have the physical characteristics, the right qualifications based on a list, but not necessarily in terms of what you might actually need. So this is just about thinking about it. I'm not saying you can't get into a relationship. I'm saying you got to think about it, you know? This could also mean that in relation to a current relationship or someone you're already dealing with, like, are the problems we're dealing with actually problems, or is it something we should be letting go of? Something we should be putting in the past? Is it something that is actually a trivial matter, but we're making it into a bigger issue than what it is, right? So I'm not saying that it is that. I'm just saying, think about these things. So let's go with Libra sun, moon, rising. You may be feeling a little bit of a struggle in relation to your work life, possibly expenses also. You may be feeling an internal push-pull because the eclipse is at your 6th and 12th house. And so there's this feeling of, could be you want to let go of your job, could be you want to quit. You're feeling detached from your job and possibly detached also from your spirituality. Again, this sort of internal push pull, like I want to make this work, but I also don't feel like doing certain things. This may be affecting your creativity or your feelings of being in flow, your feelings of possibly having fun. And so you may want to factor in breaks and specifically, like, intentionally find something that you could feel connected to or could feel passionate about, so that this is not something that worries you too much long term. This could also mean that you may be feeling burnt out, or there's something about your health that is affected in relation to the 6th house. So this could be your abdominal area, or 12th house would be your feet. And just overall this feeling of like, I'm not sure if I'm motivated to do this, not sure if this is really my life purpose. There's a lot of questioning going on here. So I would say try to do something new. Try to break your routine. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising, we have this in your 5th and 11th house, which would be your children, but also the place where you have fun, or your social circle. So you may be feeling a sense of not sure if I want to hang out with the same old people anymore. Or it could be that if you have children or pets, that they are kind of needing your attention a lot more during this period. There are changes happening within your comfort zone, your home front. So it could be that literally just at home, there are some changes and you're like, okay, an example of this would be with your children or pets. It could be that there are changes at home. So the children or pets are having trouble adjusting. So we're like, I don't know, like I think they just need more attention. Maybe their health needs more attention at this time. Now, it could be that if it's like your friend group, right? You're trying to figure out who you're still comfortable with and who you no longer feel attachment or comfort with. But you also may find yourself being very attracted to creative endeavors. So this could be home improvement as well. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising, you may find yourself in sidereal zodiac, by the way. You may find yourself making some changes in relation to career life, or really, really wanting to make those changes. You're going to have to be practical with how you approach this. Saturn is in your 3rd house. You may be feeling a sense of like I want to change my career, but how is that going to impact my schedule, travel schedule, for example? Or it could just be that, yes, there are changes in your career, not necessarily a job change, but something is messing with your transportation schedule, or your communication with other people, especially your coworkers. It's probably a little frustrating at this time, but make sure you handle things practically, because that's the only way to do this in a peaceful manner. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising, this is happening in your 3rd and 9th house. So your learning, education, new skills, higher education, sometimes that's like your sense of pride in your knowledge, imposter syndrome sort of thing. So you have the choice between whether you get over this imposter syndrome and you start achieving things, going after things, or if you really feel like you need to study more and learn more, you may be doing that during this period. 2nd house is where your Saturn is though. So then what's happening is that there may be some lessons in relation to expenses as well as money. So cash flow may be something that's unpredictable at this time. I just wouldn't make any big purchases at this time, or I would be really careful with the cost of things. So like, yes, if you want to go back to school or something, just make sure that you have the money for this, and not just the money to start it, but the money that you're going to use while living in a school situation, for example. So for Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising, what's going on is you have this in your 2nd and 8th house, which means money matters will be where we see some changes in relation to this transit. And how it changes you is through the 1st house. So you will have to adapt to the situation, or you may have to change something about how you handle yourself in order to make this work. There's some big changes, but it's with you. Either this is internal, sometimes external. So okay, one of the few things I'm thinking of is, let's just say, for example, there's some changes when it comes to money and cash flow, and you're like, I'm not gonna have money to have my nails done, I'm gonna do it myself. Or there's some changes with cash flow, So you're like, I want to reinvent myself. Actually, there's cash that came in, so I want to go and spend money on, my clothes, my hair, etc. So, yeah, some changes in relation to money, and somehow it changes you, whether externally, internally. Maybe you're focusing on your health and well-being more because of this money or financial change. It could be for the better, but I think it's still something you need to handle practically. Sees this is affecting your seventh and first house, but I see this as you may be wanting to spend more alone time. So yeah, it's not that you are necessarily breaking up with someone at this time. It could just be that you're feeling like, I need my individuality, I need my alone time, I need to figure out who I am by myself. I miss spending time by myself. There's that aspect going on here. 12th house is about letting go of things. So in the past, putting things in the past, you could be literally just letting go of relationship issues or putting someone in the past, an ex, a current partner. There's something here about like, okay, I need to let that go. I need to release. I need to do my own thing. And I don't want to care about that as much anymore. So there's a releasing going on. And it's specifically to do with relationships. I think you also may just be reprioritizing what you really want out of relationships. And you may just be realizing like, this is great, but it's not good enough. Or this is great and this is what I want and I don't need anything more than this. There's either acceptance or acceptance that it's not good enough. Aries, sun, moon, rising, you may be letting go of something. Just there's a lot of letting go here, okay? Now, here's where I see this. Whatever it is you're letting go of, it is something that you feel is a long-term goal. An example would be, I think I need to quit this job because I know that this literally isn't what I want to do. I never wanted to do this. I just did this because it was a stepping stone and I got to quit. It could be your health, or this could be your job. This could be something from the past. Essentially, yeah, I see you making different choices and different priorities. Perhaps you're prioritizing connecting with friends and your social circle because you're like, my job works me like a dog and I don't even get to spend time with my friends. So you know what? I'm not even going to that meeting, like that kind of thing. You're having different priorities and you're letting go of things that are not that serious. You're like, it's just, why am I dealing with this, And you're focusing on other people or things that are more important. Either way, this is something that you're doing for your future goals or your eventual growth. So I still think it's a good thing. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. This is happening in your 5th and 11th house. So there may be something in relation to your children, pets, or your social circle. Some of you could be wanting to have children, or some of you could be realizing you don't want to have children. There could be something in relation to, again, your children or pets where you kind of have to focus on them at this time. Perhaps their health will be a focus area. Now, how I see this affecting you is also through your career house. So there could be like you have to move things around at work or make some significant changes at work because you're accommodating this pet or child or friend, right? There's something like, oh, I have to do something for my community, or I have to kind of be there for a friend and support them. So there's some career changes because of something going on in those houses. I see you doing this though because of a higher goal, and it's like, this is something I've always wanted. This is something I'm working hard for. The reason you're shifting these things around, or maybe you're getting into a creative endeavor as well, is because you know it'll pay off long term. But it is going to make some changes in your career also, or you may have to make some adjustments in your career to accommodate this. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising, you may make some changes in relation to your career where you are, this could be a different job, this could just be a different set of circumstances in your job, changes in career. That's really what it is. You're reprioritizing what you really want to do and what you want to focus on. And how I see this affecting you is possibly through long distance travel. So it could be like trips, vacations, or just literally like long flights. But this could also be your spirituality is affected by this somehow. The father could also be affected by this somehow. Or this could also be higher education. So some of you may be thinking master's degree, doctorate, or like, I got to do some form of training. I want to teach. There's something to do with higher education, learning more, spirituality, or travels and trips, getting out of your comfort zone, dealing with foreign people. That'll affect this or that'll be an impact of the changes you're making in relation to your career. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising here, we have this in your third and ninth house. So your learning will be affected by the eclipse. So learning, this could be communication, this could be coworkers, siblings. This could also be learning new skills is where we see this, okay? This could be also you wanting to step up and be more of like a teacher, be more like a leader rather than a follower. Now, how I see this with the eighth house being here is some of you could be having a spiritual experience that's making you feel more like, you know, like this transformed me. This made me want to reach out to someone that I didn't think I was going to reach out to. Or it could also be that there's some form of an experience you're going through where you are thinking of things more deeply and perhaps not revealing too much information to others as you move about your goals. So I have the phrase moving in silence in my brain. You know how some people are like, I have some things I want to achieve, but I don't want to talk to everyone about it because I've realized, you know, like it makes people kind of jealous or it makes people kind of weird towards you. And then when they get demotivated, you get demotivated also. Like there's that kind of thing. So I could see you maybe being silent or not talking about certain things, changing who you talk to, changing how you talk to people, because you're just more aware of things and you're just essentially filtering out who you can trust. This could also be if you have some form of money or unexpected income that is coming from a different source that could help you in terms of some changes you're trying to make, whether that's like travels, trips, or like higher education. There's something that is coming through. So this could be like, I mean, hopefully this is the case, right? No promises. This could be like debt relief, but this could also be like inheritance, unfortunately. So it could be a legal situation that ends up going your way, but it's like it creates resources for you to do what you want in terms of education. Lastly, we have Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So we have this in your second and eighth house. So Leo, we see some changes in relation to money, cash flow, in relation to savings. It's just everything about money. There's some changes in relation to money that may be a little bit unpredictable. So I wouldn't recommend making any crazy investments unless you've done your research. We also have Saturn in your seventh house. So this could be something to do with a business partner, a spouse, or romantic interest. And there may be, honestly, could be some potential conflicts with this person about money or very important conversations about money. So it could be like if you guys are contributing to the household income, you guys are like, okay, we have to make a different plan, budget things together, do this differently. Or it could be like, let's say that person gets a better paying job. This person could get a not so much better paying job. And it's like, we're making some changes. We're adjusting to the situation because something about the spouse is changing. The spouse or like the business partner or the roommate, your partner, whoever it is you consider to be your partner. Sometimes it's your best friend. If you co-parent together or something, that could be the father of your child. There's something about a partner here where we're needing to adjust because of something kind of changing and going on with them. So could even be that your cash flow is, you know, in a weird space. So you are adjusting child support or something. I don't know, something like that. There's something about money and it somehow affects relationships. So that's what I see kind of going on here. All right. So that's it for this video. If you like this, make sure you book a reading with me, mediumisabella.com. I just started posting my 2025 annual readings. So all the details for that are in my description box below. That's it for this video and I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Bye.